The stronger the line, the stronger the army, right? Don't tell that to Dan Sickles. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Virtual History 360. I'm Mr. Wade and I love history. I bet you do too. That's why you're watching this video. So remember to click the subscribe button and turn on the bell to receive notifications about future videos that you're probably going to like too. And be sure to stick around until the end of the video to find out what happened to Dan Sickles' leg. Trust me, it's a good story. But before we get too far, let's talk about Gettysburg. The battle took place in Pennsylvania over the first 3 days of July in 1863. Now, there is plenty that we can talk about. So much history happened here, but today I want to focus on day 2 of the battle. What do you say we head out to location first? Here we are, overlooking the peach orchard in Gettysburg. Let's continue. By this point, the Union was dug in on Cemetery Ridge, and General Lee decides that his best option is to attack their left flank and try to get around their line. He learns that the southern end of their line is undefended because the 3rd Corps is not in place, so he tasked General James Longstreet with this challenge, but Longstreet was slow to move his men and was not ready until the afternoon. At this point, you may be thinking about Chamberlain and the 20th Maine, but no. Something happened before Little Round Top that could have spelled disaster for the Union. Remember the 3rd Corps? Well, they were led by Dan Sickles, and he decided that there was better ground than Cemetery Ridge, and he moved his army into a peach orchard just off of Emmitsburg Road. Could he have been out to make a name for himself by seeking battlefield glory for personal gain after the war? Let me know in the comments what you think his motivations were. But anyway, the Confederates were shocked when they found these Yankees in the fields not protected by the ridge, and the rest of the Union army behind them. So they immediately attacked. Because Sickles was not in line, they were exposed to artillery fire from 2 different sides. Sickles himself was struck in the leg by a cannonball. But that's not the end of his story, or his legs, but we'll get to that in a second. By 6:30, the rebels were able to break the line and force the Union to retreat. Fortunately, they were able to get back to the main line without allowing the Confederates through, but this was not without a high cost. There was a tremendous amount of casualties in the peach orchard, and it wasn't just the fighting directly. Union soldiers who were using the barn for cover lost their lives when the building caught fire from the shooting and trapped them inside. And on top of that, so many horses were killed that cannons had to be moved by manpower. This was clearly not a good moment for the Union, but luckily for them, Chamberlain and the 20th Maine were able to hold Little Round Top and save the day and secure the victory for day 2. But what happened to Sickles? And more importantly, what happened to his leg? Now, I could do a whole series of videos on the life of Dan Sickles, from his use of temporary insanity to beat a murder charge for killing Francis Scott Key's son. Yes, that Francis Scott Key. Or his political connections, or his work after the war to preserve Gettysburg, or his petitioning for a Medal of Honor for 34 years. But right now, I'm going to talk about his leg. You see, there was a new museum opening, and the Army Surgeon General was looking for specimens of quote-unquote morbid anatomy. So Sickles had his amputated leg preserved and sent it to Washington in a coffin-shaped box. He would even go visit it every year on the anniversary of his amputation. You can see it too if you visit the National Museum of Health and Medicine in Washington, D.C. Seriously, look at this. If you think this is cool, they also have the hip of General Henry Barnum and the bullet that killed Lincoln. It is worth the visit, so what do you think? Leave a comment below if you have any questions I can help you with. While you're there, go ahead and hit the like button for me so YouTube knows to promote this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to check out my other videos like the ones you see on the side over here. I have other history videos as well as ones that are shot in 360, so make sure you check them out. For Virtual History 360, I'm Mr. Wade. See you next time.